Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Business, and I'm doing the overview of the Tier 7 US battleship, the Colorado. Now, the Colorado has probably had the least amount of fans for it than I would say more than any other ship. This has had so much shit talked about it, and part of it is the fact that it has very, very low health for its tier. 49,000 is the base, and that's actually where the Nagato starts off. But the Nagato, when you upgrade it, gets up to 66,000 health. The Colorado only gets up to 50,000, so really not very good. And I will say that I do recommend, first and foremost, the engine upgrade. It doesn't sound like much, only a couple extra knots, but it's a couple extra knots and you need all the speed you can get. So go with that first, in my opinion, of course. And go with the FCS upgrade second, and then do the hulls. Hopefully you'll have some AA cover. I mean, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't type of thing, honestly, until you get this fully upgraded and you're able to properly defend yourself, because the lack of AA on the stock ship, and well, any of these stock ships, is pretty abysmal. So you do get a little bit of a buff on your rudder shift on the B hull, and you get a pretty significant buff on the AA, as you can see, and you have a lot more options there. I do, at the time of this video, have let's see, advanced firing training and yeah, let's see, 4 other of these skills there, so that's good. Definitely helps boost this range out a little bit further and the damage up a little bit more. Generally, the Colorado will actually do very well against enemy planes of even the same tier. I would always recommend having an escort, of course. The big thing that the Colorado has had buffed is its rate of fire, so it no longer takes 35 seconds to reload, but 30, and also the dispersion. The in-game, in practice dispersion, not the bullshit that you see in the port here, the least meaningful stat in the game in terms of what's available to us, which is maximum dispersion. There's really nothing that means, because we don't know how any of it works. The fact that you can throw on this module here and shoot out to 19.4 kilometers and still be more accurate than a New Mexico at 10 kilometers, what does the dispersion number actually mean? I don't know. That's stupid. So there are still obviously those wild cards where you'll have dispersion go batshit crazy on you because it's a battleship and that's what happens, but it just doesn't seem nearly as often. So again, my question is, why don't we have a little bit more detail on that? I would really love to find out more about how dispersion works in from the core of the game. So big thing here is the usual stuff, but basics of survivability absolutely crucial on this ship. And the reason for it, and actually let me first point out that if you have enough of these India Yankee flags, holy shit, only use them on this ship. Trust me, that's a 35% reduction in the time of fires burning. And so if you combine that along with the premium repair party, you are going to last a lot longer. And it's not necessarily even about the heal, it's about the repair party, because you will be set on fire by everything that is, any HE shell that lands within 100 yards of your ship. It's such a flammable damn ship. It's unbelievable. And that's actually the biggest fault of this ship, in my opinion, is the lack of defense against HE. It's fantastic armor defense versus AP, but HE, with how condensed all of these modules as far as the AA guns and the secondary guns are, I mean, it's astonishing this thing can even get through a match with how fast it goes on fire like that. Surprise. Now, I've presented with these opportunities a lot. There's an enemy Omaha here, and an enemy, let's see, it's Nuremberg? Oh no, Königsberg. Yeah, he's over here too. Damn near take him out. But, and pay attention to the shells on this. Yeah, should have had a double strike there. Damn it, it was so close. Pay attention to the dispersion of these shells and how flat they are, how, for the most part, almost every salvo will have one turret with the shells side by side or basically forming into each other. So they're hitting the exact same spot. And I'll have a salvo against the Nagato here in a second that, if I aimed a little bit further, would have certainly killed him, or done at least one citadel penetration. But it's really actually impressive being able to sit back, watch these replays, and pay attention to the dispersion a little bit more than what I'm able to do while I'm playing live. And there's just something about how this ship behaves that really is just very consistent. And the best way I can describe this, which, first things first, this is the second best battleship available to the USN line. There's no question about that. I don't think the North Carolina comes close to this, and you guys can get your pitchforks out and everything in the chat, or in the the chat next time on Twitch, or obviously in the comment section here on YouTube. But I'll be damned if anybody really can demonstrate that the North Carolina is a better ship. I honestly think this is the better ship, and the armor on the North Carolina, if you're bow on, is excellent, and I really think that's the only advantage it has. But check this out. See those two shells? I just came up short. That would have hit right below the conning tower and almost certainly would have knocked him out. But the main thing about this ship, it's a tier 7 American Warspite. There you go. Play it exactly like that, and you're good. Play it mid-range sniper, not this brawling shit, because I honestly didn't expect this to happen. But this ship is honestly at its most vulnerable, either at max range when dealing with incoming shells from the enemy battleships, because I don't think its deck armor is all that good. I could be wrong about that, but it does have the turtleback scheme, like the Tirpitz, like the New Mexico, that sort of thing. But I mean, look at this shit. That was an overpen. Come on, that's ridiculous. But Kami and I are in a good old fight for our lives here. Kami, Slap, and myself and another cruiser, we went up against, what was it, like 7 or 8 enemy ships there, and we came out on top, so pretty damn happy with those results. And I did actually miss a chance for a double strike again later in the match, towards the end, against the Nagato and Miyoko. Very, very upset by that. But J-Dog, Masta, as well as Kami and I are on hotspot. This was one of the first matches I played since getting the Colorado back, so I don't have some of the upgrades as far as the captain skills are concerned. I am paying attention to a massively out of place Atago here, and I mean, pay attention to this. I mean, this is 4 minutes into the match, and he's practically in our spawn. I mean, and this is a cruiser, and I'm just eyeballing him. I'm waiting for him to commit to a turn as he's doing the serpentine movement, and here it comes. Okay, now he's not going to be able to switch back in just enough time at this range before I do something like that. And for whatever reason, I really feel like there's a connection between this and the Warspite, and with the accuracy buff that this has had, much like the Warspite, and this isn't something to pat my own back or anything. I'm dead serious about this. The Warspite is a ship that does have a higher skill, like a learning curve than other ships. The Colorado is like that too, because it is accurate, so it is actually less forgiving, because you have to have the accuracy to make the most use of it. Some ships, like the Fuso, who gives a shit? You just fire in the general direction of somebody, you're going to get a hit. But the more accurate you are, the better you are with leading your target, the more you're going to be able to get out of the Warspite, the Colorado, and other ships as well. But I will say too, the Miyoko has got to be the bane of this ship. As far as tier 7 and under, my god, what a pain in the ass ship for the Colorado. It's really good on fire chance, and I'm pretty sure that guy has demolition expert for the increased fire chance, because basically everything that he shot at me turned out to be starting a fire, and same with this Cleveland as well. I mean, they were tearing my ass apart, and Oh god. Just watch how the fires build and then like how much actual HE damage this takes. I think I actually remember in a Mogami on hotspot one time. I think I even have this recorded somewhere. I think I did something like it was like 11,000 or 12,000 HE damage on the first salvo on the Colorado. I was just like, you've got to be shitting me. That's insane. And then my next follow-up salvo was like 7,500, something like that. So I damn near took off half the Colorado's health in 2 salvos. And of course, it being a Mogami with the 155s, I mean, that's only a few seconds apart, you know. So at this point, I was trying to curb these guys, their advancement to the north here to try to protect our carrier. And it was about this time that I realized, oh shit, there's another cruiser right there, and it's in Atlanta. I had no idea he was there. I swear to God, I never saw him up to this point. And the thing is, though, I called a double strike at the start of this match with all these cruisers that have been in the queue and whatnot. Like, it's, you know, such a much more common occurrence, and this is why. You split the turrets, man, and you've got a good chance to do stuff like this. Fantastic. So I got my revenge on the Miyoko finally, and you know, I'm still running, I'm still getting a shitload of damage done to me by HE shells, and I finally get around to killing this damn Cleveland. I mean, look at where that shot hit. That was like the very stern of the ship. I had such a hard time leading that guy for some reason, but whatever. So I, of course, had fireproof metal as well as the First Blood, Double Strike, and Devastating Strike, so worked out pretty well. 4 kills, about 2,200-2,300 base XP. Kami did well as well too, with a bit over 2,000, and some fair damage there. Very happy with those results, and also the accuracy too. Pretty key point. So we move on to the next match, which is again hotspot, but we're on the flip side. Now, we do have tier 7 carriers in this match, and so that's something I was a little concerned about. I was also concerned at first by the actions of this Tirpitz, which, please, if you're watching this and you have a Tirpitz or you plan on getting one the next time it goes on sale, do not do what this guy does. This is so fucking stupid. Like, it just blows my mind that somebody would throw their ship away so willingly, so quickly. And you'll see our destroyer in the channel there. You'll see his torps come in. There's 2 cruisers just south of the cap who will kill our destroyer. And I just fired off a salvo against the New Mexico, which you'll see the hits come in here in just a sec. I get 6 hits. We'll see the damage here in a moment. But the destroyer that just died takes out the Tirpitz right there. 3.5 minutes in. And all he did was straight line right south. I mean, that's impressive, actually. Like, I mean, that's a hardcore YOLO. And what, he may have done a few thousand damage to, some of the other ships over here. And did pretty good damage against the New Mexico, even though I didn't see it, obviously, see the results. Now, Kami and I fired at pretty much the same damn time. And he's in his Colorado as well, so check this out. We're going to see the results here, and we'll disregard our action. Holy shit, we damn near killed the guy. So, that's pretty good. But, I've got to say, I'm actually a little proud of myself. I've been doing better not beaching myself on, islands and stuff. But it has been happening a little bit more on teammates. So, I think I just compensated for something else. Now you're going to see a sweet-ass dodge here. Get to see some of the AA in action. And I didn't have advanced firing training here. So I definitely would have cleared a few more of these planes out. But I'm gonna swing my ship just a little bit around. Okay, I'm clear. Time to look for another target. There's a North Carolina, and this guy is stock, so he's got the 53,000 health, right? So this is gonna be a lot like the New Mexico. I'm gonna fire, and I'm not gonna be able to see the results here for a sec. And yes, I am shooting AP. I finally noticed that this replay has the HE issue, the stupid HE bug. And I fired off a salvo against the North Carolina, got 6 hits, and managed to angle just in time there to be able to bounce a lot of those shells. And let's see. Oh, there he is. I halved his health with no citadels. That's pretty damn powerful. I mean, that's a really good penetration. And, you know, he's at a slight angle, but wow. And sent off another salvo with some pretty good results as well. So another 15,000. And unfortunately, Kami's salvo was just a little too high. So would have been nice to see his salvo kill the North Carolina there and take him out of the match right away, because that would have been pretty impressive display of power by the Colorado. But I split my turrets again against a Miyoko and the New Mexico that I've been kind of just taking some pot shots at. Managed to get a Citadel, take out the engines on the Miyoko, and then I'm going to follow that up here with another shot that takes out his steering. And it's not a Citadel though, which is interesting, but it's a penetration as he's turning into his, like the stern of his ship. So you'll see here in just a sec. And again, still splitting my turrets, engaging both ships at once. And I zoom out just a little bit, boom, get his steering gears. So knowing that he's already prepared, I know that guy's just gonna go in a really big circle. So you get to see some of my patience here, which sometimes I'm known for, sometimes I'm not, I guess. I tend to just be like, screw it, might as well charge in. But I shoot the New Mexico here a few more times. And that previous salvo, by the way, that was one of the best displays of really bad dispersion. You know, sometimes the ship still gets it, and you know, it's not immune to it. You know, like I said, it's still a battleship, and you're gonna have some wild moments of, you know, what the hell happened there. But the thing is, you gotta remember where this ship was before. That was how it normally was. It would just always have these wild, ridiculous spreads, and you know, if there were enemies behind the target, you were more likely to hit them than the one you were actually shooting at. So I know I'm going to finish this Miyoko off, and look at how tight the grouping is. Really, really, really nice. And it's actually a really good thing that more ships aren't like this, because I would come close to saying that this is almost OP. Almost. But it takes a fair bit of skill to put these shots where they should be. Like, that was right under the conning tower, exactly where citadels are for practically every ship. But you know, that's through just experience, and I can't tell anybody exactly how to do that. It's just a calculation you make on the fly, you know, based off of their forward speed, you know, their habits that you may or may not have seen before, your experience dealing with ships of that class, blah blah blah. There's so many factors that are involved in the split-second decision of where you actually aim. And I bounced off the North Carolina, of course, because he's angled right at me. And the thing is, too, I didn't expect this. This North Carolina turned south, and he pretty much didn't deviate from his heading at all. He just went straight right into us. And I didn't really know how to react to that. I was like, oh shit, this isn't going to be good. And sure enough, boom. So pretty good damage there, unfortunately. And I mean, he has me dead to rights at this point. I'm just like, son of a bitch. Not how I wanted this to go, you know, not like this. But I've got a little bit of time and a little bit of room. I see a nice comfy island there that I want to beach myself on. This is a good example of tactical beaching. And I'm going to dump everything I've got into him. I hit him with all 8 shots. Unfortunately, only 10,000 damage. I mean, it was a pretty harsh angle. Luckily, his Bravo turret, which was able to fire, not his Alpha turret as well, sent the shells right into the water there. So I get to survive a little bit longer. But obviously, with 3 fires and 3 cruisers shooting at me, it's not going to last long. But I get 1 death salvo off against the Atago, and I just didn't lead this enough. So close to knocking him right out. damn, that would have been awesome. But that was only one citadel. Again, penetration damage is very, very worthwhile. You don't always need citadels to, do a lot of damage, as you've clearly seen throughout the course of this video. So there you go. This is the second best battleship available to anybody playing the USN line. And I very firmly believe that whatever stigma and whatever opinions about the Colorado that are based off of the pre-buff, the pre-second buff Colorado, they can be thrown out the window. I mean, it's such a better ship than it used to be, and it's markedly improved in terms of the accuracy. I would much rather take this out than the North Carolina any day of the week, and most other battleships. In fact, this will be played every day when I'm on, from now on, until I get tired of it or something, and just want to mix it up. This is a fantastic ship. I highly recommend it, and again, the higher skill level will pay off more with a ship like this and the Warspite, for instance. So I just want to throw that out there. But I do have a Twitter feed now, so I want to make a happy little community of blowing shit up, and feel free to follow me on there. I'll leave a link in the description, of course, and we can obviously you follow me, I'll follow you back, whatever. We'll get things going on Twitter, and I can keep you guys up to date as far as the streaming schedule and also upcoming videos. But either way, thank you very much for watching. I hope this clarified some stuff about the bastard child of the battleship line for the US, and I'll see you next time, guys. Take care.